Let me go ahead and get everyone checked in now. So as I call your name, if you could just confirm your name on the screen is correct, or give me your full name, and then tell me who you're representing here today. So I'll start with Rose. Rose, are you with us?
Yeah, Rose Shelley. I'm with New Republic Architecture.
Okay, great. Welcome. Um, we have Graham Colby. Is that right? Colby,
Cowbly, that's fine.
Colby. Welcome. You're also with New Republic.
That's what they tell me.
Uh, okay. Matt Lashide from the Cincinnati Zoning Department.
Hey, David.
Hey, Matt. Welcome. And I have two individuals under Marianne Lawrence. If you guys could unmute and let me know what each of your names are.
I'm Mary Ann Lawrence, and this is Zach Lawrence. And he looks better than me today because we have no water at our house. We're frozen.
Oh no, sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Thanks for having
well,
us today.
sure. And you are both the owners on the property, is that right?
I'm the agent for the owner, correct?
Gotcha.
And Zach's the contractor.
Got it. Okay, great. Are we expecting anyone else to join us on the applicant or owner side today?
No.
All ready to go? Okay. All right, let's get started. I need to read through our hearing script. This will basically just cover the procedure for the hearing, and then we'll get started. So this is the January 17th, 2024 session of the Zoning Hearing Examiner docket. Again, my name is David Sturkey. I'll be presiding over the hearing. Case before us today is case number ZHUV230012. That's 1241 Grosbeck. The purpose of this hearing is to allow applicants and any potential opposing parties to testify and to offer and refute evidence and testimony. This hearing will follow the rules found in the zoning code and the supplemental rules of the zoning hearing examiner. Or we have one more person trying to join us now. I'll let them in. All testimony and evidence that an applicant or any potential opposing party wishes to offer must be presented at this hearing. The hearing will proceed as follows, and see if we can get them connected to audio before I go into this next bit. Looks like it's still connecting, so we'll keep moving. The hearing will proceed as follows. The applicant, the applicant's attorney, or the applicant's agent will first present the applicant's case. Anyone from the public will then have an opportunity to speak after the applicant has presented its case. I'll hear from the zoning plans examiner, Matt Lashide, to provide any testimony in addition to the staff report. In the event that any party testifies or offers argument in opposition to this application, the applicant will have an opportunity to rebut that testimony that was offered in opposition. And then finally, the applicant will have an opportunity to make any closing statements. After all presentations have been made, I will close the hearing. Decisions may be expected within 2 weeks. I may limit or exclude any testimony that I deem irrelevant or outside the scope of the application being considered. I may interrupt any speaker asked questions or to make any comments. In the event of any technical difficulties with the Zoom technology, I'll do my best to troubleshoot those on the fly, but to the extent there's some defect that prevents us from meaningfully going forward with the hearing, I may continue or postpone the hearing at my discretion. Okay, last thing I need to do is just swear in all of our witnesses. If you intend on providing any testimony here today, making any comments, asking any questions, doing anything other than just strictly observing, then the zoning code requires that I swear you in. If you know that that's you right now, I'd like to go ahead and collectively swear all those people in together. If you're not sure, I can always swear you in later. But if you, again, know you'd like to say something, go ahead and take yourself off of mute now. I need everyone to raise their right hand and to answer out loud. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you shall give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do.
I do.
Okay, great. Thanks, everyone. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Looks like whoever's trying to join us is still trying to connect to audio. But let's get it going. Who's going to be taking the lead here on the applicant's presentation?
So, and correct me if I'm wrong, Matt. Do you do a staff presentation first, or do you want me to say a few words? Or
Typically, we'll let
Yeah.
the applicant speak, and then I will add any zoning staff analysis afterwards, but it's up to you to start.
So I think what I'll do is I'll say a couple things, and then I'll turn it over to Marianne and Zach to add some color commentary. Marianne, is that okay?
That's okay. We're prepared to listen and confirm. I did not make a presentation for today, so we've not been through one of these.
Sure. So, real quick, the building was built in the late 60s, early 70s. It was built as 41 one-bedroom apartments. Through the years, it kind of got morphed into 34 units. Some one bedrooms were combined into two bedrooms, and an existing unit count of 34. That that unit count doesn't meet the market of affordable housing. We're trying to meet the market in terms of affordable housing, and that's not where the market is. We really are seeking to return this to its original architecturally designed configuration of 41 units. And in doing so, we're not intending to touch the parking lot as it is, as it was originally designed in terms of adding spaces. We're simply we're on a bus line. We're sort of we've kind of got transportation alternatives, and I think Mary Ann can probably talk to the tenant base that's there a little bit. And so we're seeking a parking variance reduction in order to basically maintain the status quo. So I'll turn it over to Mary Ann to add any color commentary. It's pretty simple and straightforward, I think.
So we are following what Graham said, and we have a tenant base currently that is a mixed market between subsidized and regular market, but our people tend to be of medium to low income. We currently, out of the 18 units we have rented, we only have 10 cars. We cater to seniors. We have 5 folks that are handicapped, which is not politically correct, I'm sorry, but that have ADA exceptions and do not drive, do not have vehicles. So we tend to have less capacity or need for parking. We plan for it to be that way. Part of the great thing about being in College Hill is that it's becoming such a walkable community, and we love that about it. And so we plan to follow that lead. We encourage our residents to take other forms of transportation. We advertise that we are on bus lines, and we expect the majority of our folks, and when I say majority, probably 50% will not have vehicles during their time spent with us. We have several long-term residents here that are seniors that we expect to stay that do not currently have vehicles, nor will they have vehicles. So we understand why the parking regulations are in place. We don't expect to put a burden on the community with on-street parking. There's actually no way for our folks to park on the street comfortably because the units face the rear, and they would have to walk down a driveway that is used constantly for in and out. And then they would have to go up 150, 200 feet to find a place because there is no parking along Grosbeck. So it's not a convenient, accessible place for them to park on the street. That's about what I have. I'm sorry, we're kind of new at this.
The other thing I'll just add is that the building itself is about a quarter mile from the Hamilton Avenue business district. So again, sort of that connectivity piece of it. So if when we're walking, you're a quarter mile away, sidewalked the whole way there, kind of a thing, as well as on bus lines. So that's kind of the argument for seeking reduced parking.
The other thing I would add is that the reason we're so sure about the demographics is because we currently have a 15-person waiting list of people that have been approved by apartments, and they're actually have money down and are waiting to move, knowing that it could be up to a year before they come. So we have a very good idea of our demographic at this point. They are a reality.
Gotcha.
So.
Okay. Did you say there's currently 18 units rented?
Correct.
Okay. And but how many units exist in the apartment? Did I hear 34?
Correct.
Correct.
Okay.
There could be a 35th one made, but at this point we're looking at 34.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. Let's see. I don't think I have any other questions right now. I mean, so you're saying it would be impractical for folks to, I mean, it looks like St. Elmo would be the most practical place for overflow parking. You don't think that there will be significant on-street parking on St. Elmo or any
No.
significant addition to the on-street parking on St. Elmo
Dude,
because of
We
the
have
orientation of the
never,
building?
yeah, we have never, and on some of our other, we have a complex in another one in College Hill that has very limited parking. And even there, we write into our lease that people, kind of like they do at a campground, that people can have one vehicle, that visitors can't disrupt the flow of traffic in any way. So we have a lot of control over that. We do not allow people here to have more than one vehicle for any reason. Even if it's a 2-adult household, they can only have one vehicle.
And we don't allow, it's in our lease, no working on vehicles in the parking lot, no broken down vehicles, and we're very on top of that as far as keeping broken down cars taking up spaces. So they're never, broken down cars are never sitting for more than 48 hours at the most.
Mr. Sturkey, I'll give you just a little insight. We took the property over, and this is ringing our own bell, but we took the property over a little over a year ago. And when Graham said that they may need to do a neighborhood canvas, I said, we're great with that. As we've had about 3 police runs in a year, and 2 of them were medical. And the year before that, before this owner purchased, there were lots and lots and lots of runs here. It was kind of out of control. So you don't know us, but what you need to know about us, I have 10 years as a police officer. Zach has been in the business since he was born. He came to the office with me when he was born, and we've been doing this a long
I
time.
used to make copies.
Yeah,
I'm her son, by the way.
sorry, I should have said that.
We didn't put that together.
We are very good and dedicated to what we do. We have a wait list for owners that want us to do their properties that go into 2028. We only take on one a year. This one has been so important to us and so delayed that we did not take a new property on for 2024. We need to see this through first. So it's something that we're very committed to getting done. It's good for the community. It will be good for the owner, but in my history, owners make enough money, but it's definitely good for the tenant base that's here in the community. So,
And a little, sorry,
Go ahead, Zach.
a little backstory on us is we really only take on properties that are struggling in one way or the other,
Yes.
whether it be tenant base struggling. We've had some where it's been the management company has been embezzling. So we
we fix things.
we fix things basically. We fix problems within properties as far as down to the tenant base. I mean, when the reason there was so many police runs was because of specific tenants, and those specific tenants are no longer here, meaning that there was much fewer police runs. So
Yes.
Gotcha.
And we
Okay.
won Landlord of the Year last year in Cincinnati. So if that helps.
Yeah, can I just real quick? I appreciate all of that, and I'm glad to hear that you all are working on these properties and are good landlords. I do have to consider this in a little bit more of a zoomed out perspective, because
Understood.
if I grant this relief, it runs with the property, so you could sell it to a less reputable landlord, and this relief would still carry over. So I do appreciate that, and I just wanted to make that clear for anyone else
Understood.
listening.
I'll help. Can I help?
Real quick, Graham. Yeah, just real quick. I just wanted to confirm one thing. So we're moving up to 41 units, and there are currently 35 spaces in the back parking lot.
Correct. Yeah,
Those will all be retained.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
And then we're on two bus lines, the 17 and the 41.
Right. And that was going to be my question for Mr. Lashide. I think you mentioned a quarter mile, but would this complex be within a quarter mile of the new BRT line that's going to be going down Hamilton?
Let me
that
see here.
offhand?
I'd imagine so. The BRT
What
is
is
going all the way down.
BRT? What?
The bus rapid transit lines that are going to be going from Hamilton and College Hill down to
Yes, David, it is.
downtown.
that's cool.
Yeah.
And I can
Yeah.
speak to that a little bit more in our
Sure.
overview.
Okay. I asked that because there's some discussion now about relaxing some of these provisions in the future
BRT.
based on the BRT. Matt, why don't you go ahead and if you'd like to add anything.
Yeah, thank you. So this review there's two pieces of zoning relief that we're reviewing here. There's the number of units and then there's the number of parking spaces. So the density question is adding 7 new units within an existing building. Typically, you would not be permitted to do that in this zoning district. The reason, the classic example is that someone would buy up an old Queen Anne Victorian house that used to have one family living in it, and they'd try to divide it into 6 units and put 6 units in it. And the code is designed to not allow that. I feel that this is a little bit different because the building was originally designed to have 41 units. It's very clear from looking at the floor plan how this building was originally configured. I've done some research on the permit history. It looks like the work that's been done to the inside of the building that modified that layout, opened up new wall openings in between units to turn 2 units into 1. I didn't see any permits for that work, so we can't speak to the safety of the work that was done. From a permitting perspective, as far as we know, until you came to us, the building probably still would have had 41 units. So just restoring it to its original condition is different, in my opinion, than altering it from its original condition to create more units. So with that, we are supportive of the proposal to restore it to the original 41 unit count, working with, an architect and a contractor to make sure that everything is brought up to code and safe and lawfully permitted. In terms of the parking, the requirement here, I believe is, let me confirm, 1.5 spaces per unit in that district. So they would need to have 11 new spaces. I'm of the opinion that the applicant here knows their clientele. I think some of the comments made about having 18 units and only 10 cars speaks to that. Also, the property is within a quarter mile of a new bus rapid transit line that's being developed by Metro. To speak to what that is, it may be beneficial to know it's buses that operate almost like the streetcar or like a subway. They run on a fixed route every 10 minutes. So people that may not have a car, either they don't want a car, they can't afford a car for whatever reason, or they're just more convenient and more affordable, they can take the bus. It's a great amenity. So having your building within 5 minutes of that, I think would reduce the reliance on cars for your tenants. So with that, staff is supportive of the variance to keep the lot, similar to the building, keep the lot as it was originally designed. If there are issues with parking that come up in the future, you as a property owner may be interested in expanding your lot, but at this point, a variance to keep it as it is reasonable to me. So staff recommends approval of both requested pieces of relief.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you, Matt.
Real quick, let me just try to make contact. Is there Jeffrey Larkins with us? Jeffrey Larkin? If so, if you could unmute. If you're just observing, no need to unmute. But if you'd like to participate, now would be the time. Give you a couple more seconds here. Okay. All right. Going to go back to either Graham or the Lawrences to respond to anything they've heard or make any other comments in closing or otherwise.
I think we're just trying to do the right thing in terms of helping out with the affordable housing struggles that we have in the city of Cincinnati, and trying to do as best we can for whatever transit-oriented development we can help those kinds of projects whenever we can. And this is certainly one of those that embodies that sort of mission and ethos. So I hope you can find a reason to approve our requests.
I can, and I have. I am going to approve the request. That's based on the application materials and the testimony I've heard here today and the staff report. I think it would be impractical to strictly enforce the zoning code to this project. And so I am going to approve it. Graham, as you know, I have to formalize that approval in a written decision. I mentioned at the beginning that typically takes about 2 weeks. I'll do everything I can to get that to you as soon as possible. But hopefully knowing that this approval is coming can help you guys get started a little bit. As soon as I finish that decision, sorry, go ahead.
Just a technicality. This will then, once your letter is issued or officially codified, that will automatically click over in Cages and release the permit comments. Is that correct? And that's maybe more
No.
for Matt, or do I have to do
Yeah.
anything else?
I can answer that.
So I'll send, as soon as I finish the decision, I'll send it to everybody in the hearing here today via PDF, including Matt, and then from there, Matt, you want to take it from there?
Yeah, so as soon as the decision is written and issued formally, I can go into the permitting software and approve the permit based on that decision. And then
Great.
once it's approved, building inspections, customer service has to process the permit, and then it will be issued.
Okay, awesome.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Great.
Thank you.
Truly, what you
Sure.
knew, we saved this in case we needed a bribe.
Again,
They were
Just-
found
Yeah,
here, so we're kind of.
we're housing them right now.
Rose wants one. I can see it. This one's already adopted.
should have led with that. Should have led with that. Okay. Well, good luck with the project. Sounds great.
Awesome.
And if you guys have any questions in the meantime, feel free to reach out to me. I'm sure Matt would be happy to answer questions as well. If you want a status update on the decision, I'll reach out to me directly. I'll let you know, but I should have that out to you within a couple weeks.
Great.
Quick
All right.
question. I'm sorry. Does anybody know like the time frame on the BRT? Because that's like a really good thing to tell people who are
Yeah.
applying. You know.
It is being developed now. I would say in the next couple of years, but not immediately.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
still
I think
wonderful.
I think it's 2027 and 2028. There's going to be
That's
one on
huge.
Reading and one on Hamilton, and yeah, it's for sure going to happen. But where exactly the stops will be and all of that, it still has a lot of infrastructure that needs to be built out. But it's definitely happening in the next 3 to 4 years.
Excellent.
Good to know. Thank you.
Thank you
No
all.
problem. Okay.
Thank you.
Have a great day, everyone.